right now the First Amendment is under attack, and there was an excellent piece by Kevin Williamson. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but how are we going to talk to the general public about the stuff that has been stuff that went on in Ohio about the government trying to make it so that you couldn't use particular types of speech? There's a lot of government restriction of free speech that's gone on recently from the Dems. How do we get these messages out to people? And how is it that we are not the party of free speech? How do people not realize that we are the party of free speech?
It is amazing we blow that.
Well, I think we don't know how to frame the argument, and it's that because I've seen just a little bit. I have not paid that much attention to it, but just a little bit of the Democrat statements about it. Where they're posting about how horrible it is that the Senate blocked this legislation that would make politics fair. And we don't have a counter for that because fairness is good.
Well,
and they own fairness, or we've allowed them to own fairness.
It goes back to Citizens United, of course, because everybody, that's the great Satan that the left wants to point out every single time that there's an ad from the Koch brothers that appears. Oh, hey, thanks a lot, Citizens United, you terrible, evil people. Never mind all of the union-funded ads that go out, that were not affected by Citizens United. So somehow they've made the conversation, instead about freedom of speech, they've made the conversation about political speech. They've made it about, oh, this is propaganda. Oh, these are conservatives taking advantage of the system. So somehow we are at fault.
Because we want to allow corporate speak, and corporations are bad. And we want to say that corporations can speak freely just like people, or whatever. I mean, they're twisting reality as they do so well. And we're absolutely kind of just dumbstruck in being unable to fight against it. We can talk people through it if we get them for 30 seconds or 45 seconds, but we don't have a slogan against this ridiculous infringement upon the First Amendment rights to free speech. We don't have a slogan that sounds as cool as get the money out of politics, make it free for people, power to the people. We don't have anything as cool as that, or as easy to understand as that.
What they're doing is pretending that this is campaign finance reform. Kevin Williamson goes into this in his article. But what it is about squelching speech that the left doesn't agree with, obviously. And Ted Cruz waded into this argument in an interesting way. And I'm going to have to find the article, but what Ted Cruz was saying, and you could argue whether this was something that is a viable argument or not, but it certainly got attention in a lot of debate, is it would criminalize some of the skits on SNL, on Saturday Night Live, some of the things in a particular period, a particular window of politics. It would criminalize them because guess what? NBC is a corporation. Guess what? Those people on that stage are being paid to perform this. How is it any different from releasing a movie or a book, within a certain time period before an election? It technically isn't. This is a scary thing. More people should know about it. More people on the left should be upset by it. At least in the middle, they should be. I
always do a lot like, Ted Cruz is doing. I always remind people immediately, and I do this with young people too, when like the fairness doctrine was being tossed about. I would talk about movie moderation. I'd say, okay, but you got to make it anything that is big corporation money putting out messaging has to be balanced. Okay, so Paramount, every single movie company has to put out equal messaging for the right and the left starting now. You can't just do it in this one area and then while you dominate all the other areas. And when I said that to young people, I got to be honest, they agreed. Because I'd say,
And the View would have to hire 2 conservatives and 2 liberals rather than right now, what they've always done, which is 3 or 4 liberals to the 1 token semi-conservative.
you mean on like the View?
That's
Yeah.
what she said.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah. And say
Andy
so.
never listened to me.
What?
Andy,